It was a bright Saturday morning when our neighborhood's community park buzzed with excitement for the annual spring festival. Families gathered, kids ran around with painted faces, and the aroma of popcorn and grilled food filled the air. Our family had just moved into the neighborhood, and we were eager to join in, meet new people, and make friends. My daughter Amina was especially excited. At 14, she's proud of her identity and faith, wearing her hijab with grace and confidence. It's a part of who she is, and I always admire her strength and poise in a world that doesn't always understand or accept her. As we approached the festival area, we saw many familiar faces, neighbors setting up booths, kids playing games, and volunteers organizing the event. But there was also Karen, the notorious HOA Queen Bee. Known for her rigid, controlling nature, Karen had a reputation for enforcing the community's unwritten rules with an iron fist. Most residents tiptoed around her, hoping to avoid conflict. We tried to ignore her as she stood near the main stage, chatting loudly with other board members. But things quickly took a turn for the worse when Amina, holding my hand, stopped near the refreshment table to grab some juice. Karen approached, her eyes narrowing as she looked Amina up and down. I didn't think much of it until I heard Karen's voice, sharp and loud enough for nearby people to hear. "Hey, kid," she said, grabbing Amina's hijab strap suddenly and pulling it. The delicate fabric slipped off her head, exposing her hair in front of everyone. "This is a community park, not a place for your kind of headwear." Amina gasped, her face flushing with shock and embarrassment. She quickly tried to fix her hijab, but Karen's grip tightened. "Your kind? What do you mean by that?" I demanded, stepping forward. Karen looked me up and down with a smirk. "This neighborhood has standards, and we don't need people flaunting their differences. Maybe you should respect the community's traditions." The words hit me like a punch to the gut. I stood firm. Amina's hijab is her choice and her right. This is a public park, and she's welcome here. Karen laughed condescendingly. "Not in my neighborhood." Suddenly, a crowd had gathered, murmuring and whispering, shocked at the blatant disrespect. Among them, I noticed a group of people in suits near the entrance. The mayor and his entourage had arrived early to observe the event. Before Karen could say more, the mayor himself stepped forward. A tall man with a calm but commanding presence, he looked directly at Karen. "Is this how we welcome everyone in our community?" he asked quietly but firmly. Karen froze, realization dawning on her face. I I didn't know the mayor was here." The mayor turned to me and Amina with a warm smile. "I'm sorry this happened to you. We strive to make our city inclusive and respectful of all cultures and beliefs. No one should be made to feel unwelcome." Karen's face turned red as several neighbors voiced their support for Amina and condemned Karen's behavior. The HOA board, which was also present, immediately announced that Karen would face disciplinary action for harassment and discrimination. As the festival continued, many neighbors came over to apologize to Amina and me, offering words of encouragement and solidarity. It was overwhelming but also comforting. Later that evening, I sat with Amina in our new home, reflecting on what had happened. She looked at me, her hijab perfectly adjusted again, and said, "Mom, I'm proud of who I am. No one can take that away." And she's right. Karen may have tried to shame my daughter, but instead she united our community in a way I never expected. The mayor's presence and response reminded us all that diversity is a strength, not a threat. Our neighborhood still has work to do, but we're moving forward together.